Show, episode 213.
You got it.
Where we talk book news, author news, and literary news. Today, banned books. I'm Eric Mickles.
I'm Nick Gunning.
Yeah.
For those of you tuning in thinking that Steve Englehart was the permanent third chair on the All the Book Show,
No.
one-time deal.
Yeah.
One-time deal. So Steve Englehart's not here, but for your radio listeners, you didn't hear that episode, so you gotta go to soundcloud.com/allthebooks or anywhere you get your podcasts.
Yeah. iTunes,
iTunes.
Spotify, Stitcher,
Listen to the special. Are we on MySpace?
Google Play.
Okay. Listen to the special interview we did with Steve Englehart, legendary author of DC Comics, Marvel Comics. We focused primarily on his Batman work, but I got in some Green Lantern questions as well.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot. It's a great interview, so I hope you can go find that. Regular listeners, if you heard it just like every day, thanks. And thanks for tuning back in.
Yeah.
Today we're talking banned books.
Yeah.
Because it's banned book week, so if you want to see Eric get angry, stick around for the tail end of the show.
This year I'm going to be fine.
No, he's not.
I got into bed around 12:30 last night.
Okay.
And about a little after 5:30 is when I fell asleep.
Eek.
And this wasn't me just like sitting in bed like, I can't put this book down.
Right.
This was me, lights off, head on the pillow, going, why God, can't I fall asleep?
Do you have a sleep mask?
No.
Because I'll tell you what, I mean, this is not interesting to the podcasting audience, I know, but sleep mask for me made all the difference.
Usually I do put a second pillow on top of my head.
That's too much. Just get a comfortable sleep mask.
I like burrowing. Give me like a bed or a whole bunch of blankets I can burrow into like some kind of mole rat.
Huh.
I'm very happy.
Did you say mole rats?
Mole rat.
Mole rat.
Yeah.
Okay, Shannon Doherty was not in that.
No, she was scheduled, but she
Really?
stormed off the set.
She couldn't get along. Okay. Banned book weeks coming up a little later.
Yep.
You want to dig right in? Let's get into the old bookmarks.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Oh, sure. All right.
Nice.
You know what? Here's the thing with my bookmark. I feel like my bookmark is primarily an advertisement for other podcasts, but let me just dig in here. So first of all,
Nick's about to get very shill.
You're
going to shill.
Yes. But first, I read The Catcher in the Rye by Jd Salinger. So, of course, this is
You have been trying to get this Jd Salinger podcast off the ground for years.
Trying desperately. This is actually the first time I've read Catcher in the Rye or any Jd Salinger work. Fits in well for our theme today because it is Banned Book Week, and this was on the banned books list for years and years and years. And when you read it, you kind of get why. I mean, not that you should ban books, but you understand what like parents or whatever are objecting to because he's got a bad attitude.
Right.
You know, he just does what he wants to do. Often when you're
like
reading
Dennis the Menace.
I know. When you're reading classics, for the first time, they don't always have the same like punch that they would have originally because they've been imitated so many times or whatever.
Right.
But I was all in to Catcher in the Rye. So I'm not telling anybody anything new here.
Right.
But I think that stands up remarkably.
It's a good book.
It is.
All right.
I think it stands up remarkably well. I think it's funny. I think it's a book where just nothing really happens. It's just a guy with a bad attitude just kind of fritters away a couple of days leading up to Christmas.
Would you say Catcher in the Rye is the precursor to Seinfeld?
I thought that. I honestly thought that because it is. It's just you're looking through like you're not going to find a plot. There's not really a through line to this book other than, Holden just like doesn't want to do the things that he's supposed to do and
Does Holden spend like a whole chapter looking for his car in a parking lot?
Yeah, complaining about the placement of a button on a sweater. Yeah.
All right.
No, but I did think of that comparison in my head that it is, you could say, like, it's about nothing.
Yeah. It's the Catcher in the Babka.
Anyway. The lesser babka. The chocolate babka. No. So anyway.
Look to the cookie!
Catcher in the Rye. Newsflash. Call your friends in here because I'm about to drop a truth bomb on you. It's a pretty good book.
Yeah. And Seinfeld? Pretty funny.
It's funny. It's funny. Yeah. Catcher in the Rye we're going to be doing for a book club. So if you're local, come join us on September 26th.
So even this is you shilling for a separate
Yes, you're
thing.
right. You're right.
All right.
3:30. We're going to be talking about The Catcher in the Rye.
When have you ever read a book for you?
Lately I've been wondering because it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Here are some of the books that I read for other podcasts. So if you're not aware, Eric has a podcast.
Hi, everybody.
On the Radio Meanwhile Network called Three Nice Things, where you watch movies that are genuinely considered to be
bad reputations.
And then you say three nice things about them. So I've been on this a couple times.
Yeah.
I've done Battlefield Earth, which you've heard my deep dive into Battlefield Earth on a previous episode. I've done Batman and Robin.
Uh-huh.
I've done one that I don't even want to talk about.
Son of the Mask almost broke you.
Please don't say that out loud. And coming up, I'm going to be on The Island of Dr. Moreau, the Val Kilmer, Marlon Brando version.
Yeah. So you read that?
So I read The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
Which the only H.G. Wells I'd ever read before was The Time Machine, and that was a very, very long time ago. I was a little on the fence about The Time Machine. Island of Dr. Moreau is creepy.
Yeah.
It's a weird and unsettling book.
I like it.
So, do you?
Yeah. I also like the short story Most Dangerous Game.
You know what? You featured that really early in the podcast. Do you remember that?
I sure do.
That was like episode 2 or 3 or something really early.
So like I like that kind of vibe.
Yeah, I thought of that. I thought of that story when I was reading this. But anyway, Island of Dr. Moreau. So I think we're going to be talking H.G. Wells maybe next month. Get a little closer to Halloween and talk
Something
about
like
some
that,
of the spooky stuff. But
Yeah.
So I read that.
I also like the Batman episode Tiger Tiger, where Batman has to fight a Panther Man.
Ooh.
That's on basically Island of Dr. Moreau.
That sounds fun.
Catwoman gets turned into a cat woman.
Was Marlon Brando there?
No.
You know what? I remember that episode.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yep.
I read, this is a dumb one, so that's why I felt I needed to explain why. I read the junior novelization to Street Fighter.
This is the junior novelization.
Yeah, it's like a Y. It's not like it's more like a young adult book.
Yep.
The Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which we've just realized our copy is lost, but has tons of circulation.
I got to get us a new copy.
So we got to replace Street
People
Fighter
love
on DVD.
the Street Fighter, the movie.
Anyway, Todd Strasser novelized this for the young adult audience, and I read it. And now I've seen this movie before once, and I didn't understand it then. I read this book. I don't know what they're doing.
Only once?
I think so, yeah, just once.
Goodness.
I read this book, and I still don't really fully understand M. Bison's plan.
Yeah.
Guile's plan to combat M. Bison.
Uh-huh.
Not a lot of street fighting happens.
Yeah.
It's a bad book. It's a bad movie.
For me, it was Tuesday.
Nice.
That's a great line.
Yeah, I understand. So. Yeah. And then finally, I read Beverly Hills.
How many
902...
bucks did I pay you to be on 3 Nice Things?
Not nearly enough. Beverly Hills 90210 by Mel Gildon. So I'd read some of Mel Gildon's Star Trek books before, actually, but this turned out to be a novelization.
Okay, so he's a Star Trek / 90210 writer.
He's my spirit animal. Anyway, this novelizes the first 4 episodes of Beverly Hills 90210, and I did this
for 4 episodes in one book.
Yeah,
good.
I know. Yeah, it really works through them. I did this because I've started doing a Beverly Hills 90210 rewatch podcast separate from the library. So please don't send me letters.
Yeah.
Where we go through every episode of Beverly Hills 90210. I've seen them all. My co-host has never seen them, so we're just taking it one day at a time. And that's 9021. Here we go. So you can find that on.
But the O is a 0.
O is a 0. You can find that on Twitter or SoundCloud or whatever. So anyway, that's what I read primarily for book clubs and
podcasts.
Yeah, I read some graphic novels too for Batman Day, which was over the weekend.
Yep.
I read Batman Troika.
I have no idea what this is, but Bane's on the cover?
Bane's on the... Well, I think it's KG Beast, actually, because Bane's not in this. I think that's KG Beast you're looking at.
What?
Yeah.
Anyway, just like Bane.
It's a lot like Bane. Anyway, so this takes place right after the Nightfall saga where Batman's had his back broken. Well, maybe that's why Bane's on the cover, because it's a Nightfall tie-in.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Anyway, Batman's just come back after an injury. He and Robin team up, and Batman's kind of in a shaky place, and they go against a Russian mob. Not good, but I read it.
Oh, that's why KG Beast is there.
Yeah. I read Star Trek Harlan Ellison's City on the Edge of Forever. Are you familiar with Harlan Ellison, sci-fi author?
Is this a graphic novel?
It is a graphic novel.
Okay.
So what happened with this? City on the Edge of Forever is often considered maybe the best episode of the original series. Edith Keeler Must Die. You familiar with this?
No.
Kirk and Spock and Dr. McCoy go back.
Oh, right, from Star Trek.
City on the Edge of Forever. Or the what is it? The Guardian of Forever sends them back in time, and they have to like right a wrong. So it's kind of like Quantum Leap.
Oh.
And the crux of this is a certain person has to die. Well, guess what? Captain Kirk's fallen in love with her. Yeah.
Kirk.
This was written by Harlan Ellison, who's a pretty well-known sci-fi author of the time. And it was changed so much from his original script to the episode that he was furious about it. And it remained this like contentious moment for years. And then a couple years back, IDW was like, well, let's do a graphic novelization of the original teleplay. And that's what this is. Nice. So it was interesting to see an alternate version of something that's, so you don't know anything about it, but it's pretty well known in that world. So it was interesting to see the comparison. I don't really feel that it was necessary, but it was an interesting read nonetheless.
So there's an old Deadpool comic, where he, for their like 13th issue, he goes back in time.
Yes.
And he's put into like a random Spider-Man adventure that's like in the 70s, and they're using like the original art and just having like Wade comment on everything.
Yeah.
And it's very funny. And also the Avengers recently had some time travel as well, where they went to old movies.
Right.
Would you watch a Star Trek thing where they with the CGI new actors into the old 1960s show?
Yes. And actually, Deep Space Nine did that with
what? Really?
Trouble with Tribbles. Did you ever?
Oh,
you never heard of this?
I haven't got to Deep Space Nine.
The Deep Space Nine crew has to go stop something that happened on the original Enterprise, and so it's all the footage from that with like Cisco and the new cast.
All right. Well, Deep Space Nine is ahead.
Deep Space Nine.
They don't
is ahead
need
of the
my
curve.
ideas.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm currently reading, and again, this is for a book club.
Yeah.
Like Water for Chocolate.
So it's like you've been reading this for a while.
No, actually, I just started it.
Oh.
I've been meaning to read it.
My feelings have
Book
betrayed
Club
me.
is October 1st. So it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and this is the last in our Around the World book club. So we're going to be doing that October 1st over at the Creative Arts Center. We have plenty of copies here if you want to join us for that. And then I'm reading Tales of the Green Lantern Corps, Volume 3.
Is this for anything?
By my friend Steve Englehart. And this is weird. These 5 issues of Green Lantern Corps are not available on the DC app. You can buy it from Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
It's in trade paperback form, but it's not on the app.
Yeah.
So it's weird. So I got this through interlibrary loan, and I'm reading it so I can get right back to it.
Marvel did a series of X-Men Icon books, like in the early 2000s, where Chamber got like a 4-issue miniseries. Iceman got a 4-issue miniseries. Cyclops
Iceman.
got one.
Yeah.
They're all on the Marvel app except for Cyclops's.
Oh, weird.
Sorry, Siri thought I was talking to her.
Oh,
but
Siri,
I was
come
just
on
talking
now.
to Cyclops.
Chill. You know what I also did over the weekend? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I know we had our Steve Englehart interview that aired on Batman Day. Did you do anything else for Batman Day?
Didn't I? Yeah, I answered a whole bunch of Batman quiz questions while driving a car to go see the Mean Girls musical.
That's true. All right, you want to talk Mean Girls musical since you brought it up?
Yeah, my wife got tickets for myself, my wife, you, and your wife, Hillary,
yes,
the Invisible Woman,
yes,
to go see Mean Girls at Shays.
The Mean Girls the musical.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I saw this movie in theaters with my friend Bo.
And then never
who's
again.
on our Christmas episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever it came out, 2004, and I have not seen it since.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed the musical.
I don't actually think I've watched it since like it came out on DVD, and I watched it a whole bunch.
Yeah. Oh, you watched it a bunch?
Yeah.
Because you're in love with Tina Fey. Is that more for off mic?
At the
was
time,
that an off mic conversation?
I think I was still, but I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So,
well, the stage version was really cool. I loved like, the set and what they did with it was all very inventive. I did miss Tim Meadows, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I miss Tim Meadows.
Yeah, he's the one that's hardest to like replicate.
I agree.
So,
do we have this CD? Do we have the soundtrack in our collection?
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Okay, so you can check it out in our music collection.
Yeah.
We do still have a CD collection.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We actually just updated it with a whole bunch of musicals. It's got Dear
out.
Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
It's got the new Newsies. It's got Heathers. It's got the Mean Girls one.
Heathers.
Anastasia.
Which starred Shannon Doherty.
Oh,
wow.
My word.
A lot of Shannon Doherty talk this morning.
Apparently Shays is doing Anastasia. We had a big fight. It was more
you
between...
and me?
No, I guess it was between me and your wife. Because like how you don't like Be Prepared from The Lion King,
terrible song.
She doesn't like In the Dark of the Night that Rasputin sings in the Anastasia movie.
I've never seen it. But
which is very much like the Be Prepared.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So
it's hard for me to like a villain song. I know you... Your heart's as black as your shirt, so I know that you like those.
I'm wearing a black polo.
Yeah, just for everybody.
Yeah. And not even the one that has like those gray. What do you call it? The gray like
heathered.
Heather. It's not even heathered. Like
with Shannon Doherty.
Shannon Doherty.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I did while we were driving up there. I did ask about 80 Batman trivia questions to the car.
Yeah.
Eric did pretty well.
Thank you.
He did pretty well. Anything else for Batman Day?
No.
I watched Lego Batman Family Matters. So it's a brand new. Urkel's not in it.
Right.
It's a brand new Batman Lego movie. Do we have
I
this?
shot a kid.
Do we have this in the collection?
I don't know. I'll have to double check.
Well, it's pretty good. I don't know. These Lego movies, like there was Flash and Aquaman and stuff. I've watched most of them with my son because he likes them. I'm not usually a big fan of these outside of like the original Lego movie and the theatrical Lego Batman movie. I'm not really into them.
Sure.
This one I thought was actually very good.
Okay.
It was definitely a Batman.
It's got
family.
Batwoman.
Yeah, Batwoman, Batgirl, Red Hood, Nightwing, Robin,
Red Hood,
and Billy Batson / Shazam.
Oh, sure.
You never quite get to the Shazam part.
Oh.
But it was really good. I really liked it. I thought it was good. Like it was funny and it was kind of quirky like the Lego movies are. But I found the story really good. Like Brother Eye from OMAC and all that is
Wayne on the cover.
Yeah, Wayne Industries is like developing this and Bruce Wayne is kind of like whatever, you know. And then this takes over and this kind of forces them to work together. So
is this what's his name?
Who?
Batman? From the Lego Batman movie?
No, not Will Arnett. It's Troy Baker, who does a lot of the Batman voice
Yeah.
On there. But yeah, good voice cast, good running
choice.
length. My son liked it. I liked it. So if you're a fan of Batman movies, not a huge fan of the direct-to-video Lego movies, I still think you should check it out because it's pretty good.
If you are in that wide demographic.
Yeah. So I did that, and I read Batman Troika.
Okay.
And I asked 80 Batman trivia questions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I finished...
sorry, that was like 40 minutes of me bookmarking.
Weapon X: The Return.
Ooh.
This
time it's personal.
Like the 6 issues of the Wolverine, 6 issues of Deadpool, maybe it was 4 issues of Deadpool. Those I didn't reread because I read those originally in that like Weapon X: The Return trade paperback.
Did you ever read? I got this interlibrary loan years ago when I first the original like Weapon X miniseries was in this like brick of an omnibus of Wolverine stories. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen this before?
I own the
it's
individual issues.
This is like 5 inches thick.
Yeah.
And I read that whole thing. That's how I read original Weapon X. But I haven't read anything else. So this is like a sequel to that?
This came out in like 2002, 2003. Basically, they returned and everything. Weapon X was a new program. They were capturing mutants. It was not great at time. A lot of inconsistencies in characters. Moreau was all over the place. Cable was there. But it was also kind of like, at the time, when I'm reading this, I was thinking, like, in 2002, he's just using any mutant character who's not being used elsewhere. So, at times, it was entertaining, even though it wasn't good. In the last, like, 5... So, the series got canceled, and he still had a whole bunch of, like, loose threads. So, they gave him, like, 5 issues called Weapon X Days of Future Now. And... he like kind of wraps things up. It's a time travel story. It doesn't really wrap up the series. It's strange. I kind of liked it, but it's also kind of bad. I don't know.
A lot of feelings.
Yeah.
A lot of feelings associated.
There was some fun Sabretooth, Mr. Sinister stories in there. Okay. There was some good art at the last like 3 issues. I guess you have to be in the right mood and time and place, and you have to care about any of this.
This is making me... I've been feeling lately, I need your help. I need your guidance.
Oh,
Because I haven't read a Marvel comic in a very long time.
Yeah.
So
you could finish Hawkeye. We got all of them here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I would like to read Hawkeye and I guess Black Widow before the Black Widow movie comes out.
You could read all
Did you finish that series?
Black Widow?
The current? Yeah, do we have that?
I haven't read any of it.
Right. Do we have it here in the collection?
Yeah.
I thought you filled it out.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I read the first volume.
You could read the new Jason Aaron's Thor run because Natalie Portman's going to be playing
her. Oh, that's
her.
true. My wife's reading that right now. We have that Black Widow novel series as well, right? In YA.
2 young adults.
You familiar with those? You read them?
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Not checking out as much as I would like.
Well, now they'll get a second win.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, sorry, but anyway, I would like to read classic X-Men.
Oh yeah,
Stan Lee X-Men.
Oh,
you don't think so?
No, go ahead. You'll probably like it.
Okay, and I want to read. What's this crazy? Grant Morrison.
There you
X-Men.
Go.
Grant Morrison.
You said crazy. I was like, I don't know who he's talking about.
Grant
John Byrne, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's fair. So I need your help to guide me into some Marvel reading.
Well, this thing I read, like it was those Wolverine and Deadpool issues, and then the Weapon X series was 28 issues.
Yowza.
And then the 5-issue thing, and then there were some Wolverine issues in between.
That's a lot.
So
that's a long.
That's
haul.
a huge hardcover. Yeah, but I read them all.
Good for you. What an accomplishment.
That was me trying to not read X-Men comics and get back into, or at least not read old X-Men comics and get back to reading current X comics.
Nothing as modern as 2002.
Yeah.
Right?
So I did read the Death of Wolverine like miniseries, the Logan Legacy. This is right after he died. This is all his like supporting, like his villains and other supporting characters. So X-23 gets a story in here. They're all dealing with his death. Sabretooth is upset that he wasn't the one who killed him.
Yeah.
Lady Deathstrike is upset that she wasn't the one who killed him.
Understood. I was reading that ongoing Old Man Logan series, and I kind of lost track of it.
That comes after all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he dies, then the Secret Wars, and then Old Man Logan shows up.
I know we have the Old Man Logan. I know we have the first several volumes of that in our collection because I checked them out from here when I read it.
And we also have All New Wolverine.
Yeah, we do.
Where X-23 becomes Wolverine.
Yes.
Anyways, after reading some of those, I went back to 1991-92 and started reading X-Men Bishop's Crossing, which is right after Claremont leaves. And Bishop shows up for the first time. I've never read Bishop's first appearance in the X-Men.
I don't think I've ever read a comic that had Bishop in it.
What?
I don't think so.
Oh, you're missing out.
Really?
Sometimes he's all like, I only know how to do things extremely violent. I have extreme ways. And
that's what he says.
And then the X-Men are like, well, don't.
Okay.
And that's the end.
That's all right.
All right. No, they're dated, but I really like them. These that I just read. He Bishop was very popular in the early 90s. And like probably because of the animated show, always using him on time travel episodes.
Yeah,
but
that's all I know him from.
He's not a character that has maintained. He burned hot and fast.
He's basically a cameo in the movie Days of Future Past, right?
Yeah. So also, I've made some progress in Mechanical Failure by Joe Zyka.
Yes.
Though most people, when I'm saying this, they probably know him just from the game. He's a voice actor as well.
Oh,
he was in the new Fire Emblem Three Houses game that's selling like hotcakes. And
really?
He's playing the character that everybody also loves now.
Oh, okay.
So he's a voice actor, author, and
in demand.
I know him from Overclocked Remix.
Guess what, everyone? We have this book in our very own collection.
Yeah.
So when Eric's done, you can check it out from here.
Yeah, actually, you can check it out now. I'm reading it on my Kindle. It was on sale. I'm sorry. That's what's going on.
Just going to make a note of that. We're coming up
No,
on
don't.
Performance evaluations, and I have to...
That reminds me. I got to give you your peer review as well.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, peer review. We are peers.
That's not how it works.
It's through the podcast commission.
Not how it works.
It's a podcast peer review.
Okay.
You said okay, so I would stop talking, not because you accepted
I understand.
what
I understand.
saying.
When the mics start, we're equals.
That's true. What do you want to talk about now?
Well, it is up to me. Okay, so that's it for book news-wise?
Yeah. Everybody, I feel like I should apologize because all I've been reading is X-Men comics for the past
you don't.
10 years.
You don't.
But I don't know.
You do you.
Sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do anything but read X-Men comics.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to... You're talking to a man who's read over 30 Murder, She Wrote novels. Sometimes
that's true.
you just got to read what your heart wants.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I haven't really liked the later ones.
The later
Murder, She Wrote novels.
I'm sorry.
A new author takes over, and I'm kind of thinking maybe that'll rejuvenate
a
novel series that's
40
books in from a series that started in the 1980s. So anyway,
80s,
I'm pretty sure it started in the late 80s. Let's move on to some book news.
Okay.
All right. Hit that theme.
What theme?
Woo! All right,
what?
So the
something just happened?
The long list for the National Book Award
is this on?
Out. Here's the long list for fiction for the National Book Award.
Nic and Eric present the awards.
Fleischman is in Trouble by Taffy Brodesser-Ackner. True Expertise by Susan Choi. Sabrina and Karina Stories by Kali Fajardo-Anstein. Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James.
This is a sci-fi story.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is. Yeah, Marlon James. So this was he's won the Man Booker Prize before, but this is a blend of like fantasy and African mythology sort of coming together. So it's the first installment in a series, and it's gotten a lot of good attention so far.
Yeah.
Are you going to read this one? I never can get into fantasy, but maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
If you read it, I'll read it.
I say that, and then I look, and I've read more fantasy than sci-fi over the past, 4 years.
Nerd alert.
No.
Anyway, I know we have this, and I know we
read 7 Witcher books last year.
That's true, you did. We have Black Leopard, Red Wolf even on audiobook, so check it in.
Yep.
The Other Americans by Layla Lalami. Black Light Stories by Kimberly King Parsons.
Stoplight.
The Need
Neon light.
by Helen Phillips. Disappearing Earth by Julia Phillips.
Ooh.
On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous.
Aw.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
By Ocean Vuong. And The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. I'm not going to bet against Colson Whitehead again because last time I came out strong saying Underground Railroad's a flash in the pan, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, boy.
And then it won...
every award.
I think everything.
Yeah.
I think it won everything. I think it won the local Chamber of Commerce award.
Yeah, it just won the Emmy last
It did.
night.
Yeah, it did. It won a Golden Globe, I think, for musical or comedy.
Yep.
It doesn't even make sense. Anyway, that is the National Book Award long list. We'll stay up on this award, and we'll tell you when the winner comes out.
Okay.
Do you want to talk New York Times bestseller list?
I sure do.
I was hoping you would.
Number 10 on the New York Times bestsellers list for hardcover fiction is The Secrets We Keep, or The Secrets We Kept. Past tense. Laura Prescott. During the Cold War, mothers of the CIA typing pool aid its missions to smuggle the banned book Dr. Zhivago behind the Iron Curtain.
Oh, right. I was puzzled by this one the last time we talked about it.
Yeah. Paging Dr. Zhivago. It's Dr. Zhivago.
These are the mothers of the...
On the CIA.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on the telephone wires.
Yeah.
Dr. Zavaro,
You know what?
telephone call.
This is History Week at the David A. Howe Public Library, and we have a classic switchboard
That's
just
true,
like
yeah.
that, right in the exhibit.
That's what my grandmother used
Stop
to work
in all
on,
week.
too.
Your grandma used to do that?
Yeah.
Did she
think
really?
So. I could be
Like
wrong.
for the phone company?
No, she worked at a bank, so I must be wrong. I think I just made this fact up. But
Well, I mean, if she answered the phones at a bank with lots of different offices, branches,
yeah.
and things, it would make sense that she'd
Sure.
operate a switchboard like
yeah,
that.
I'll double check my facts.
I
and
think you
then
should.
come back to you.
Please do.
All right.
My grandma was a nurse.
She would
I
operate
don't
one
think
of those
she
phone
operated
things?
a switchboard. No.
Number 9, A Better Man by Louise Penny. The 15th book in the Chief Inspector Gamache series. The search for a missing girl is imperiled by rising floodwaters across the province.
Ooh.
Yes.
Starring Christian Slater.
Did I already make that joke?
Yeah, you did. But I love
Listen,
it. I love that movie.
We were watching when we were at Mean Girls.
Yeah.
The row in front of us were like high schoolers,
Yeah.
and I heard them talking about Christian Slater and saying he was very funny, but I have no idea what they were talking about.
Where is Christian Slater funny?
I don't know what they said something. I thought I
Mr.
heard
Robot? He's
is
in
he
Mr. Robot.
Riverdale. I heard them talking
Christian
Riverdale
Slater?
at one
No.
point. Oh, I'm very confused
That
by
is
that
confused.
conversation.
That
I'm
is
like,
very
why are they
confusing.
talking Christian
Is
Slater?
he? I don't know. Let me look up.
All right. Number 8, Vendetta and Death, J.D. Robb. Eve Dallas looks into the misdeeds of a wealthy businessman while a vigilante named Lady Justice uses disguises to avenge women who were wronged.
It's not a bad name.
Lady Justice?
Yeah.
I am Lady Justice.
Well, Chad Michael Murray's in Riverdale. Does that help?
I guess. He's like a cult leader.
You know who else is guest starring in Riverdale right now?
No?
Shannon Doherty.
Oh, my gosh.
Crazy.
Number 7, The Titanic Secret. It's the 11th book in the Isaac Bell series.
Spoiler alert, it sank.
Yeah, that's the big. Dirk Pitt finds a document that brings a mystery from 1911 back to life.
Is this Clive Cussler?
Yeah.
Oh,
Clive Cussler and Jack de Brule. Jack de Brule.
I'm sure that's exactly how it's pronounced.
Did you see that video they recently released?
Christian Slater voices Ushari in the Lion Guard TV series. Do you think that that's what they were talking about?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
All right.
Maybe it was just a stand-up routine.
Wow.
Where he's like, what's the deal with all the movies I've been in?
Christian Slater's not doing stand-up. I can tell you that. He's an archer.
Yeah.
He's an archer?
Remember when I was the narrator? He was in
I don't know.
maybe they were talking about him as like the reporter in the Diary of a Vampire Diaries. Now, what am I talking about?
I have no
Tom
idea.
Cruise and Brad Pitt?
Interview with a Vampire?
Interview with a Vampire.
I don't think those kids were talking about Interview with a Vampire.
He was the one doing the interview.
Okay.
He's like, tell me, Tom Cruise,
I don't-
what's it like being a vampire?
If that were true, I'd have seen that movie.
What was I talking about? The Titanic? Oh, did you see
Titanic.
that video?
I've seen Titanic. I saw it
No,
in
they
theaters.
recently went down again to check out the Titanic.
They found that old lady's necklace.
No, they
Oh.
they found that it is like still it's decomposing a lot now.
Well, sure.
And like it could just come to the point where there's just no more Titanic down there.
Is that a problem?
No, it's just
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know, a little sad.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
I find the Titanic to be a deeply morbid and sad.
Oh, yes.
event.
It's horrific.
But one I'm always
It's
like,
very upsetting.
I want to learn more about this.
I agree. You know what? I've always been fascinated
Yeah.
with, well, I mean, shipwrecks in
terrible.
general, but the Titanic
Yeah.
especially.
That one video they released during the anniversary of this thing, where it was a CGI. It was just the ship, and it was a real time.
I remember this.
sinking.
I remember you
for
doing
like
this.
2.5 hours. You could just watch and see, and it would like tell you what's happening. And at one point, the lights went out. I don't know why I watched it, but it ruined me for like 2 weeks.
Let me tell you something. That is the most you thing I have ever heard.
It was,
And I've done 213 episodes of this
Okay.
podcast with you.
Number 5, The Oracle by Jonathan Cahn. A traveler discovers mysteries hidden behind the 7 locked doors. Oh, no, not the 7
No, I
locked
was going to
doors.
say.
Just behind
sure.
7 locked doors.
So, where?
It doesn't say.
What? He's just, okay.
A traveler discovers mysteries behind 7 locked doors.
Well, okay. Is it sci-fi? Is it fantasy?
There are 7 doors. They are locked. The person at the second door can only tell the truth.
Who wrote this?
Jonathan Cahn.
I don't. It's just called The Oracle.
Yeah.
All right. You do the show on your own for a minute. I've got to figure this
Number
out.
4, Killer Instinct by James Patterson and Howard Rogan. And I know what you're thinking. No, this is not a novelization of the old Super Nintendo fighting game, Killer Instinct.
But it's co-written by Seth Rogen.
No.
So I'm looking things up.
So this Killer Instinct is the second book of the Instinct series. Oh, that's very good. When an act of
Good name.
terror strikes New York, Dr. Reinhardt and Detective Nedlam go after a sociopath.
Nedlam.
I would have preferred a novelization of the video game Killer Instinct.
I can't find this book.
The Oracle, Jonathan Cahn, Cahn.
Oh, the way that no one spells con. Okay.
Number 3, Where the Crawdads Sing. A woman who survived alone in the marsh becomes a murder suspect.
Familiar with that.
Did you hear that number?
Read it.
Number 3.
Oh.
Yeah. Nick's still trying to figure out what the Oracle is.
Do
you want to guess?
Oh, yes. Okay.
All right.
I'm not interested in this.
Oh.
Okay.
Do you want me to read the next 2 books that displaced Where the Crawdads Sing?
Yes, please. Please do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, The Institute by Stephen King. New this week.
You know what? I have this because I pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble and thought I canceled it, but I didn't.
Oh.
And so it showed up.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet.
Children with special talents are abducted and sequestered in an institution where the sinister staff seeks to extract their gifts through harsh methods. Listen, everything I just read could be an X-Men book, especially with the allusion to sinister staff.
I agree.
That's something you always say, like, I suspect something sinister is appearing. And then Nathan Essex shows up like,
Somebody say my name. Yeah, he does, yeah.
Mr. Sinister.
Very smarmy, Mr. Sinister, every time you see him. Yeah. There was a Lois and Clark episode that went strangely similar to that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Don't act like you know.
I
don't need that.
There was a series called The Gifted and Mutant X.
Yeah.
And X-Men Evolution and Wolverine and the X-Men and the X-Men 90 show and a singular pilot called Pride of the X-Men.
I've seen that.
I've seen that.
Ones, yeah. I'm Wolverine.
Yeah. Why would you say something so sinister? Did you say my name again?
No thanks. No thank you, Nathan. See you next time. What's number 1 on this list?
Genetics.
What's number 1?
That's not a reference a lot of people are going to get.
I didn't
to this
get
it. Mr. Sinister.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I thought it was a specific thing.
No.
Just in
a
general.
specific thing would be like Cyclops being like, oh, we need to go rescue my brother. And then Mr. Sinister would show up and be like, don't you mean brothers? And Cyclops would be like, what? He's like, ha 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 ha. And then he leaves.
Wow.
Because Cyclops only knows he has one brother.
Havoc.
He has 2.
He has 2?
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
Vulcan.
Spock?
No.
Oh.
The one that went into space.
Cybok.
No.
Sarah.
No, you're on Star Trek.
Sorry. Okay.
Listen, number 1 on the New York Times bestsellers list for hardcover fiction, displacing both Stephen King and Where the Crawdads Sings, is Margaret Atwood's The Testament.
Oh.
And a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. Old secrets bring 3 women together as the Republic of Guildford's theocratic regime shows signs of decay.
I just keep hearing a cash register cling. Are you hearing that?
Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
I'm hearing the song Money by Pink Floyd. Money!
Okay.
I mean, good for her.
Yeah. It's like that scene in Batman '89 where Joker's just like, hubba, 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 who do you trust? Who do you trust?
I'm giving away free money.
For more on our Batman spotlight,
you got to read this, right?
The Testament?
Well, you read the Ghost of a Watchman.
I didn't read Handmaid's Tale.
I don't think they're connected. Ghost of a Watchman.
Then why does Reese Witherspoon read them all?
No, yeah, this is up for so many awards.
It
right?
is, yeah, it is. Well, at least the Man Booker, or the Booker.
Yeah. This is one of those things where you'll never know the answer, but you just want to know, did you ever plan to write this, or is it really just because?
Let me check the answer.
All right.
No.
Listen, it makes sense. I mean, she probably got like a base fee, right? They paid her once probably for the film show rights.
Oh, probably.
But I mean, she's still making money then off of like The Handmaid's Tale.
She's probably
sells.
listed as like an executive
producer. But if you can get more royalty out of this,
yeah.
So
I still say that's why John Grisham got kicked out of the Hulu Playhouse
for this.
I really think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the timing wise, they're just like, all right, John, we're going all in.
Yeah.
She did what? She wrote a new book.
Yeah.
I got John Grisham here.
Yeah. That would have been fun. It would have been a
crossover.
You could have met Tom Cruise's The Firm, and he would have teamed up with Lincoln Lawyer. They would have traveled across like the old Yogi Bear.
Look, I don't know if you do this on purpose, but the Lincoln Lawyer is not John Grisham.
Oh, it's Lincoln Child.
Nope.
Oh.
Lincoln is just in the name of the book. That is Michael Connolly, author of the Harry Bosch novels.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, why don't Harry Bosch and Lincoln Lawyer get into the Lincoln and just drive around solving mysteries?
They're brothers.
Oh.
Yeah. So that would make sense. I think it happens in several books.
Gosh.
All right. Speaking of books.
Have we ever talked about how Alex Cross should team up with Jack Reacher? Are they the same person?
Are they the same person?
No, are they the same author?
No, Lee Child writes
right.
Jack Reacher.
I think there should be all these
James Patterson.
authors should cross over their characters all the time.
There was talk of of Alex Cross teaming up with Mitch Rapp, who's part of the Vince Flynn.
Right.
And
it should just happen.
They announced that, and then I never saw it happen. Book crossovers, I feel like, are pretty rare.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Let's change it.
I don't think we have that authority.
All right.
Okay.
As a society, let's change it.
Well, yeah. That's a call to arms.
Take a look in the mirror, make a
I thought you were
change.
I thought you were doing a John Travolta for a minute there. I thought that was like a Saturday. Look in the mirror, man. Spent a lot of time in my hair, and you hit it, like from Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Were you doing that?
This episode's getting away from us.
It is. And I feel like I must point out that Saturday Night Fever has a sequel called Staying Alive, where John Travolta's character does a Broadway show that is set in hell. Right now, we're going to be talking about banned books.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of good resources on this online. Bannedbooks.org for one. ALA.org under their advocacy category has all sorts of resources for banned books, programming ideas, and that sort of thing. We've got a whole banned book display set up here in the library, and we're doing our annual Banned Books book club. Right. So what I thought we would do this time around is run through the list of the most challenged books in the past year.
So 2019, 2018?
I think it's technically 2018.
All right.
Because you're looking at the year as a whole. Most of these just are not going to surprise you, and it's just sort of like I read these and I think, like, what year is this again? But let's do it. Are you looking at the CNN list, Eric?
That's the list you sent me.
Okay, all right.
The CNN list.
CNN also has a great article about this as well that we'll link in Twitter. But I'll go from that list so we're in the same order. All right. So the most challenged books of 2018. So more than half of the books that drew complaints did so because they contain LGBTQIA+ content, according to the ALA.
Welcome to 2019, everybody.
I know. Other reasons include profanity, sexually explicit content, religious viewpoints, and materials that candidly portray injustices and inequality experienced by people of color. So real shining time here. Here they are. First on the list, George by Alex Gino. Now, this is one we have in our collection. Do you know about this book? Can you talk about this book a little bit?
It hasn't. Nothing's been like challenged here.
No.
Right.
None of these books have received a challenge here.
Right.
Like,
no, I'm
from
just
our
saying, like,
patrons,
we've had it. I haven't, like, nobody's like coming with a comment because
Right.
we've had those in the past.
Sure.
Where parents like, oh, can you move this? Can you get rid of this?
Yeah.
And all that. But not with this.
And the thing about that, I think of this every time we talk about like banned books and everything. The reason why Dan Brown is like a multimillionaire is because a group was offended by the Da Vinci Code. Otherwise, that would have gone right to paperback and have been in every pharmacy for about 6 months. And then, so often in making big issues of these things, you're elevating them in ways that you
There was
may not
one book
intend to.
that somebody wrote a letter to us about. They were like, can you move this to the adult section? It's not a teen book. And I read it. And you read it, and the library director we had at the time also read it, and so like the book got 3 checkouts from that alone.
Right, yeah.
So
it's funny how that happens. Anyway, George by Alex Gino, the children's novel made the list because it features a transgender character. Do we categorize this as YA or is this a junior book?
This is in the J's.
In the J books. Okay. All right. A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo by Jill Twist, illustrated by E.G. Keller. All right, so this one has kind of an interesting lineage, I guess. Vice President Mike Pence, I think it was his wife, wrote a book about their pet rabbit called Marlon Bundo. Let's see. I'm trying to find out what it's called. Marlon Bundo's Day in the Life of the Vice President by Charlotte Pence and Karen Pence. Okay, that's how this all started. They wrote this book, and then last week tonight, the John Oliver show.
That's what this is from. Okay.
Yeah, took issue with that and did a whole thing where Marlon Bundo's not a trademark name. You can't, and so they wrote this book as sort of a. As an answer to that book where Marlon Bundo meets another nice boy rabbit and they like settle down together. So this book is interesting because I feel like it's sort of like it straddles this weird line between, is it a children's picture book or is it like a
adult
comedy,
satire?
A satire book. And I think it leans more towards a satire book because it ends up being like very political and doing really obvious comparisons to like current political figures and that sort of thing.
Right.
So I feel like more than anything, it just kind of misses its mark, because I think it actually could have been a very good children's book,
right?
But it's like they couldn't quite resist like taking the obvious like dings at the people that they're addressing,
right?
So I think that puts it in a weird place where like I would probably, I don't know if we have this book in our collection or not, but I would likely put this as in like the adult humor section, because I think that that's more closely what it's accomplishing, because of its obvious
interesting.
Yeah, obviously political things there in making fun of like the current administration. So it's kind of a weird book, but it's really more of a question of where do you put it. So interesting. It's interesting anyway. This is a super popular series that we have here, Captain Underpants, written and illustrated by Dav Pilkey. So did you ever read these? I was too old.
I was too.
My brother loved them.
Yeah.
So if we ever do a Dav Pilkey spotlight,
but they're still popular now. Like kids still check out, and I mean he's popular because of the Dogman books, but kids still check out Captain Underpants
and Captain Underpants.
Droves.
Yeah, and I think it's gone through a bit of a revival and interest because they've come out colorized, because the originals were just black and white panels, and the new ones are all color, and so they're suddenly back in like Walmarts and things. So I think people are rediscovering them, but this is on the list according to the ALA because it includes a same-sex couple. So there's that.
Yeah.
Next, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. So as you'll recall, if you've existed in this world or have listened to this podcast for the last couple of years, this book...
if you have, though, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks
thank
for
you.
listening.
Thanks for sticking around. This book was #1 on the young adult bestseller list for... I don't even know. At least a year. At least. I think it was more than that. I think it was more like 2 or a year and a half at least. Anyway.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's still #1 on the New York Times bestseller list for YA.
I am not
it's been there
surprised to hear
for
that.
133 weeks.
There you go. Okay, so over 2 years. So this is Angie Thomas's debut novel. What's the one that she just had come out?
On the Come Up.
Thank you, yes. So it's written as a reaction to the police shooting of Oscar Grant. It includes drug use, profanity, sexual references, which are the primary reason it was challenged. That and it being, quote, anti-cop, according to the ALA.
Yeah, that's the real reason.
So, yes, I think that's absolutely the real reason. Drama by Rayna Telgemeier, which I've got to say I'm a little surprised to see this one pop up. Because
it has 2 boys kissing on stage,
sure.
and one of them wondering about his sexuality.
Right. It's an older book, and it's...
Ish, yeah,
but
I
think
think
3 years, I would say at least.
Yeah, I think that's as long as it's been though. I think since it came out, it's just been
it's
there.
Just kind of been up here
because everybody gets like Smile and Sisters and everything.
Yeah.
So then you also get Drama and then Parents. Or whoever.
And Drama is the other ones typically would be you'd put in a junior section like
we keep
8,
Drama
8
in
to
our
12.
YA.
Sorry,
yeah.
yes, I mean that's what I mean. Smile and Sisters I think are written for the 8 to 12.
Well, I think they're high schoolers in Drama.
Yeah,
the main character works as a backstage person in Drama.
That's what I mean, though. I think parents who are used to like because Drama and Sisters and Smile are both really written for a younger age, and in Drama is a more mature thing. And I don't know that people are always realizing that they're doing a jump in intended audience, but regardless, that's why this one is on the list. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I don't really know much about this other than it centers around a teen suicide.
And it's a Netflix series of 3 seasons now.
Yeah, but what is do you know what the hook of it is? Like what's the...
She leaves a tape.
Okay.
I haven't read it. She leaves a tape of the 13 Reasons Why she committed suicide.
So is it like glamorizing that? Do you think that's
I think that's the complaint
that's
when
the
it shows up.
It's making it seem like romantic and...
maybe
tragic.
that's what.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't read it.
All right.
But yes, it is very popular, and especially with the show out and everything. But yeah, I think usually you hear stuff just it's representation of teen suicide, maybe. So
okay,
yeah.
This one's Summer by Mariko Tamaki. So
yeah, I was trying to figure this one out. I guess it's just because it's like a YA graphic that deals with like kind of grown up stuff.
I guess so.
That's it.
I haven't read this one. I actually, when I saw this list, I went to check it out, and our copy's checked out. This is pretty popular.
Yeah.
I have not read this, but I read her Supergirl book, Being Super, and I read the brand new Harley Quinn book that she has out, Breaking Glass. Loved Supergirl, hated Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
That's another.
This is pretty good. It's kind of a downer. It's
Is
just
it?
about 2 girls who are friends and hang out every summer, but they're kind of changing, and just deals with like the character hanging around with like older teens and everything. So the mom is pretty much like checked out and deals with all this other stuff. So
if this vaguely says it was banned because of certain illustrations, do you know what that means?
No.
And because it includes profanity and sexual references.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people who are not familiar with the graphic novel medium just assume that it's like Heathcliff, like Dennis the Menace. And then...
Listen, I actually don't want to meet the people who think that.
You don't want to meet
No. There's always that part of you like, I want to meet the person who thinks that X-Men's still like Heathcliff. I don't. I do not want to meet those people.
Boy, Heathcliff is getting a lot of play.
Today?
Did you ever read much Heathcliff back in the day?
No.
Heathcliff was a one-panel comic strip. Do you like those?
No. Far Side is one panel, yes.
Do you ever find comic strips funny?
Far Side.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Garfield?
Sometimes.
Does Garfield try to be funny?
I think it used to be.
Okay. Well, anyway.
There was one where Garfield said him and John had an argument, but he handled things very maturely. And then the next panel is just John weeping over broken crayons.
Yeah.
And he's like, you broke all my crayons! And that killed me as a teenager.
That's pretty funny.
So.
Anyway, I think that is some of the problem sometimes with graphic novels. You flip through it and you're like, whoa, hold on.
I used to watch a lot of Heathcliff, the cartoon.
Yeah. Is that the Cadillac Kids or Cadillac Gang?
I don't know.
Who's Heathcliff's like garbage cat friends?
I don't remember.
I don't
You're
know
right. He does have it's not the top. I'd like to see like a West Side Story fight between Top Cat and his crew and Heathcliff and his crew.
I'll tell you what, I think Top Cat would fight dirty.
I think Top Cat would win.
I think he would too.
I think somebody would be dead and wouldn't be on Top
fighting
Cat's side.
dirty. Absolutely. Anyway, so if you are picking up This One Summer by Mariko Tamaki thinking it's like Heathcliff, it's not.
Yeah. However, if you can draw and you could do an illustration of Top Cat and Heathcliff with their arms wrapped around each other like in the Beat It video, each holding a knife in their other hands, circling around each other where their other cat crews are cheering them on, please draw that.
Please send all fan art to the All the Book Show on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's this next one. This to me is kind of an oddball on the list. It stands out, and it's okay. Skippy John Jones, a series. It's a picture book series written and illustrated by Judy Shoshner. So
it's pretty racist.
It is. So basically, you have a little white cat who, when he wants to like become a superhero, becomes a Chihuahua, and then proceeds to talk in like broken Spanish, and I don't know. It's pretty hard to. These are not particularly old books, and it's pretty hard to like read it and think like how did this get approved?
Yeah.
Because it's also like he has a little like saying, like a little chant that he turns into. It's like clearly meant to be like read aloud, and then it's like, I don't know. It's just, I just find it so tacky, and I fully understand why people find this offensive. So this one to me stands out a little bit from the others because this is just like, do you understand what I'm saying? That it's kind of in a different category because it's no.
It seems like other books are being banned because of racist.
Yeah.
And this book is being banned because it's racist.
Right. Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know. But anyway, the Skippy John Jones series. It is a popular series. I mean, there's a lot of books in the series. It's got all sorts of, I think there's like I think there's like a musical version of it. There's all sorts of stuff about this book, but it's pretty hard to stomach.
You know what else is popular? Getting two cats to tie their hands together and having a knife fight. But you shouldn't do it.
Heathcliff and Top Cat
Heathcliff and Top Cat.
Okay. Well, Skippy John Jones is also a cat. So I think Heathcliff and Top Cat could maybe put aside their differences and talk to Skippy John Jones about his racism.
Yeah.
So this book I think is just, I don't know. You know, sorry, I don't want to focus on this forever, but you read this book and you think like, okay,
you are boosting sales of this.
I know.
book
I'm
through
sorry.
The roof.
You read it and you think like, okay, this was written in what, 1952? No. It's like 2014.
It reads like an old Disney movie from. It reads like Peter Pan.
It does. It does.
Or Lady and the Tramp.
All right. Moving on. The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. This novel was challenged or banned due to its inclusion of profanity, sexual references, and its religious viewpoint.
It's crazy. This book is so old.
I know. Why are people...
And it's still like one of the most banned books.
I know.
Gosh, I wish I had the time
to go around banning books.
around banning books. because I just don't have the time, to
I understand.
ever even put any energy into like. Whoa.
To your credit, I think if you did have the time, you would
No, I
not
wouldn't.
spend it
No,
banning
I wouldn't
books. I
use
just
it
want
on
to
that.
clarify to our listeners.
But it's just like.
This Day in June by Gail E. Pittman. This picture book illustrates a pride parade, and its inclusion of LGBTQIA plus content is the reason it was challenged or banned. So this is a picture book that I'm not familiar with this book, so I don't know. I mean, it's clear, why it's being challenged, but finally, Two Boys Kissing by David Levithan.
$2 if you can guess why.
I know. Seriously, it's just, why is that the main thing? Like, why is that what people are becoming most up in arms about? It's like every year we do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is the main list. I look at this list and I try to understand. I try to understand like the reaction, and as close as I can get is like, as a parent, I'm mindful of the way that like I want, the way topics like be introduced to my son, like, but I would think that conversation is the key. I just don't think that like one of these books should have more impact than like a parent would have talking about these things. So if things in these books you find challenging, or your children find challenging, then use that as the way in to talk about these serious issues. I just don't understand what you hope to accomplish by just saying, I'm going to ban this book, or I want this book banned. Like, what is the end goal for that? Because you will not succeed, and you're only like drawing attention to it. So like, if you have a problem with the content, like, use that as your means to discuss the content in a mature, responsible way. But I guess if you're going around banning books, then acting in a mature and responsible way maybe is not in your wheelhouse. I don't know.
Listen, I read Neverwhere, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm part of the problem to some people.
Are you? Yeah, I guess so.
There I was, just reading Neverwhere. How could I?
Well, as we said, bannedbooks.org has a lot of useful information here. As always, the ALA website, ala.org, has all sorts of information on this, ways to get involved, how to participate in this sort of thing, how to get some of these conversations
How
going.
to participate in book banning?
In talking about the banned books and talking about censorship in general. A lot of good resources there, so I encourage you to take a look at that and find some ways to get involved. You can come talk to us about it at the Banned Books Book Club that we're having on September 26th of this year.
For Catcher in the Rye.
For Catcher in the Rye. Have you read it?
No.
Well, you got a couple of days.
I've seen a lot of Seinfeld.
Yeah,
To bring
so
it
it's
back.
pretty similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could just bring it up. Just
Yeah.
choose a character and be talking about
Okay.
that. All right, anything else you want to say? It seems like they usually fall in the YA category.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's parents.
Yeah.
I mean, this day and age, you're not going to... I don't know how many people are going to be like, I'm banning the what's the book? 50 Shades of Grey from
Is
adult
that-
bookstores.
Is that how does that play into your thinking when you're doing like ordering or collection development or that sort of thing? I mean, a lot of these.
It does not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good.
every now and then I
That
look
was
at
a
something.
trick.
Okay. Every now and then I look at a book and I'm like, I wonder if this is going to
Yeah.
get somebody to complain.
Right.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
deal with it then, I guess.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't care.
But
sometimes
I
when I'm
guess-
angry at the world, I go out and buy 10 of those.
Well,
books.
10
Yeah,
copies.
10
No,
copies of
No,
Two
I
Boys
guess
Kissing.
so I knew it wouldn't stop you from getting something, but I just wonder, like, you must be aware, like, sometimes when ordering books, like, I mean, just you look at some of the titles and you think, like, oh, this is going to tick some people off. But, that's just not something that I just don't really think it's our place to be trying to, like, say, oh, no, you can't see that.
No.
We're here to be free and open. I mean, that's just the mission of libraries. So you'll find all these books here or in our system.
Yeah.
So, all right. Heavy topic. Heavy topic.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I mean, I think I'm
You know
glad
what else
that,
is a heavy book?
what?
The novelization of the film Gravity.
And that Wolverine that I read that was like,
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
wait down a table with that.
Sure.
I'm glad that Banned Books Week is a thing because I think that sometimes, I mean, it's getting harder and harder too, but I think sometimes you might forget that this is a thing that continues to happen. It seems like something that we've left behind, or you.
I would love to be able to forget that these things happen.
I know, that's what I mean. Like, more and more, I guess it's hard to think that,
Yeah.
but I think when you're being
You thi-
optimistic, maybe
You think
it's
I'm
just-
reading 80 to 90s X-Men comics because I forgetting how the world works?
Yeah, I guess more to the point, you sort of hope that this isn't a thing that we're continuing to have to deal with. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it is something that needs to be addressed and talked about. And so that's why I think things like this that put a spotlight on it are so valuable to society and to us as we do our jobs. So anyway, again, we've got our display up. We've got our banned books book club. Mm-hmm. Read any and all books. Yeah. Read banned books. Read regular books. Read books that are so dull that nobody cares about banning.
Really?
I've read a couple of those in my life.
That's your advice. Read something so boring it would never be banned.
Read. If you want to read a collection of Heathcliff, we'd happily do that.
Okay.
All right, I mentioned the book clubs already, but we're finishing up both Catcher in the Rye and Like Water for Chocolate, so you can join us for that. Next month, can you believe it, is October, and our Halloween book club pick this year is World War Z by Max Brooks.
I read that.
Did you know that his father is Mel Brooks? Isn't that crazy?
He also wrote the Zombie Survival Guide.
Makes sense. It's on point.
I read that. It was like a research. It was
really
like for when I was a teenager, and I was like, well, I guess not a teenager. I was 20. But I read it like I was doing homework.
Somebody got me a Superman survival guide, something like that. And I thought, oh, this will be fun. I started reading it and was like, oh, this is real. This is really how you survive. Anyway, hope you can join us for that. We've got some other book clubs set after that. Auditorium programs are booming again. We've got a play in the auditorium next month. We've got lots of concerts and movies regularly. So you can check out davidahowlibrary.org and our calendar on there for upcoming special events. Anything you want to mention?
No.
Okay. I appreciate your restraint. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to rate and share the podcast. Tell your friends. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.